Today, we have a topic that affects every one of us, and that topic directs us to food, what we eat. I have a number of people here on the studio who will be having discussion with me today. I'll be talking basically about what we eat, how we eat, and when we eat. For me, I love my breakfast, but I have my friends here on the studio who will be letting us know if they love their breakfast or not, or they'll be giving us their own opinion. I'm Jane, and with me this morning, I have
Chukuma.
I'm Njideka.
Nkirika. I am Maggie Bam.
Wow, these are my friends. Please stay tuned while we go on a very short break. When we come back, we're going to dissect what we eat and how we eat.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take its pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes.
If she wants to ask something, no, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me. Remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I said,
The show has just started. If you're just joining us, we're talking about food, what we eat. I said earlier on, I love my breakfast. But I have my friends here who might have different views, and I know my friend Chukuma will definitely have a better view.
I love food. And the whole of my body represents food.
Exactly.
I don't hide it. And even in my office, they will just bring out food. They say, oh, Chukuma. Once you mention food, it's me. I love food. Yes, you viewers, watch me. I love food. But the most important thing is the time you eat your food and the combination of what you eat. Most times, people don't understand what kind of food they eat and how it bloats their body. Initially, when I got married newly, I found out that I was eating late. You know, when you marry an umbrella woman, they will always make you eat, especially when they married you newly, because there is an assignment. The man has to look good. So when I got married newly, I started eating. I'll come back from work late night, I'll eat pounded yam, salad soup, you know. And before you knew it, I got out of shape. Now, the worst part of it is that you try to get back. What it takes you to get to this size, it takes you times 10
That's right.
to reduce this size. So gradually now, it's becoming punishment. And you know, in life, sometimes you see people say, try work hard so that you can find something to eat. And when you work hard and the money comes, the doctors tell you don't eat so much, so that now you begin to see the irony of life.
Yeah.
So I don't know how every other person feels, but me, I know I like food. But basically, I think the most important part of food, according to what we've read, is the breakfast. I don't love skipping my breakfast. And they said, there's this thing I read that says you eat like a rich man in the morning, somehow in the afternoon, then you eat like a pauper at night. Yes. Also, there are some basic combinations you need to know. Before you eat, you should also know your health level. If you're the person that, if you check the history of your family, and you find out that probably there are people in your family that's are hypertensive, or like people who have high blood sugar and other things, you start early to check what you take in. I'm fortunate, my father is above 100 and he's still alive. He still eats malt, he drinks malt, eats noodles, and eats everything. And sometimes I begin to ask myself, am I not lucky? So, but if you find yourself that there are the traces of high blood pressure in your area, you begin to be careful on how you combine your food, because it's important what you eat inside your system. Whatever you take in your system reflects either in your health or in your body shape.
That's right. But what do you think?
Well,
I always approach things because I'm a nutritional biochemist. So I always look at the food beyond the ordinary, because just like we all agree on, you are what you eat.
That's right.
So the food doesn't end up in I just consumed it. People just believe that, some people have a misconception that you eat, get food. That's not the reason why you eat, is not to get food. Basic reason why you eat is for nutrition. And what is nutrition? Is the nutrients in the food. So the reason you eat is that your body wants to extract the nutrients from the food, and the rest is a waste. And that's why we have to go, make use of the toilet from time to time.
That's right.
So my body is eating, I'm eating because my body needs to extract nutrients to be able to perform some basic functions. Now, when I want to talk about what we eat, for me, you look at food, you should look at the different aspects of it. Really, it's a very wide topic, and it has no ending. Now I'm talking about food, I want to look at, like Chukuma has said, the time you eat, the timing,
yeah.
the quantity, the quality.
Combination.
You understand? Then, like I just said, the content. Now, we know basically nutrients, you have micronutrients and all that. So you have your carbohydrates, you have proteins, you have fats and oil, and of course water. Water is a substance that most people always forget is food. They don't count it as food. But without water, I tell you that your body mechanism and metabolism will shut down. So it's very essential. So it's a macronutrient. Now you talk about the other little ones, vitamins and minerals, those are micronutrients. Without micronutrients, really, your body won't even metabolize your food, because we're talking of micronutrients will help your body to provide the enzymes you need. Most of them act as catalysts, in the chemical reactions that take place in your body.
Wow.
So like I said, I always look at it from the biochemical point of view. So now at the end of the day, okay, let's talk about quality of food that we eat. Let's look at quality, because that's what's important. Now, because of maybe over the years, food shortage as it were, agriculture, Nigeria, everybody is boosting agriculture. In Nigeria now, we're talking, in those days, agriculture, you have shifting cultivation. If I plant crop A this year, next year, I plant crop B. Crop A is probably using a different nutrients, from the soil. So I need to do plant B, so they can replenish the nutrients that I lost in the last year. But now we don't have crop rotation. What do we have? Fertilizers, pesticides, all those kind of things are chemicals going into our food. Now, let me give you a typical case. I went to the market one day, I bought garden egg. Typical garden egg that just like this one on this table.
It happened to me recently.
I left it in the car. I bought like 2 bags, left it in the car, took some upstairs to my office. Believe you me, when I came back later in the evening, my garden egg was brown. It had changed color. What is responsible for that? A lot of chemicals, pesticides and fertilizers. Now, even fertilizers are of different types. Usually what you have, which is cheaper, is what we call NPK fertilizers. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. But really, the good quality fertilizer should actually comprise of 5 chemicals or 5 minerals. You should actually have chlorine, you should have potassium, you should have, nitrogen and all that. But then you find out that because it is cheaper to make NPK fertilizer, that's what you have. So we take in a lot of toxic things. Talking of quality of food, let's also look at, let's look at storage. How many times do we now buy fresh food and eat it fresh? Now, there's a difference between fresh and processed food. When I'm talking of fresh food, I eat it fresh. It is live. That's what we call live food. So it contains the natural enzymes. They are still alive. So when I eat it, my body is designed to digest natural foods that are alive.
Wow.
So digestion is facilitated. Then again, my body can easily, more readily digest it and extract the nutrients for the vital processes I need. But now when we have food that has been destroyed, as it were, let us look at, like I said, storage. It is known that when you store something like fruits, for instance, research has shown that if I pluck my oranges, it says that after the first 4 days, citrus fruit, any citrus fruit, it loses about 40% of its vitamin C. Now let us imagine oranges or whatever that was plucked from Boko or Benue State. We know that's where most of our fruits come from. The farmer that plucked it, how many days did he stay in the farm? The transportation, how many days did it take for it to go from probably Benue to Lagos. Abuja to Lagos to Port Harcourt to wherever? We're looking at 2 weeks. You will also bear with me witness that the oranges used to eat many years back. They could stay days and they don't get spoiled. Today, buy an orange and keep it on your table. Put it even in the fridge. It gets bad. It's not the same.
That's
A
right.
lot of chemicals in the food. So it doesn't stop there. We should know that these chemicals, we're ingesting them. So
All
what
right.
is the impact of this in our body? Those are the things we should be looking at.
Right.
Talking of quality.
Jideka has given us, she's giving us the biochemical aspect, she's giving us the scientific aspects, and oh my God. Nkirika, what do you have to say?
General, I'm coming from a different angle.
Okay. Let's
It's
hear
good
you.
to hear the nutrition part of it,
That's right.
and that food is very good. Abi, well, what we eat.
Yes.
But there are a number of issues. For instance, now we have to take into consideration the current, urban lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a working mother, you're a student, right now we're living a very fast-paced
That's
life.
true.
And you find that in also developed countries, that's why the fast food chain is blooming, because people want it now. It's called the microwave age, right?
Yeah.
So it's, yes, we are what we eat, but I think life has changed in such a way that how do we get that what we eat to be that right, For instance, like Chukuma says he loves food. I don't know if he loves food like I do.
Oh.
Let's say...
See our body. See our body. You
You have a physical
our body.
representation.
Let
of
me
what
ask a
we
question. No, just I
Okay.
say, let me ask. If I had ice cream and warm cake in the morning, is there anything wrong with it?
eat. Okay.
Your body should tell you, because our system will always give us a feedback.
Yeah.
Whatever you take.
Hey, but the thing is that, let us try and break this thing down.
Okay.
I agree we are what we eat. But it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy those little things of life.
No.
Okay.
Chocolates, cake,
No,
kaza.
There's a part where when you started initially, you were talking about the lifestyle.
Yes.
The current lifestyle that we live. This lifestyle we have currently where, like you said, we're living on a fast lane. Working mothers, you have to work, you have to take care of the home. How do you ensure your family have the right diet? How do you ensure everyone eats right? I think it goes back to having your own, I think it goes back to discipline as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the system.
Yeah.
The market, what she mentioned is exactly what my fears are.
Yes.
I had an incident recently, bought garden egg and brought it in, having washed it severally. As we just brought it, we still perceived that chemical. I couldn't eat it. Now,
And this is just one of
yes,
so many.
Now, not everyone has this opportunity to do that. And again, one of the reasons I believe that our discussion here is also to give people knowledge on the impact or the need to understand what we take in, as well as also give the regulatory agencies or possibly the government agencies opportunity to know areas to focus or put their
Yes, that's
satellite
true.
on. Because if this is what is happening and there is no one regulating it, you see that things get out of hand. I've had a lot of people tell people, eat fish, and you see people eat this fish that they might do in the market, the poultry fish.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. But I was arguing with someone, and I stand to be corrected, that I prefer to eat cow meat than to eat that fish.
Why?
Because cow feeds on organic.
Okay.
Those
Grasses, they
yes,
eat grass.
yes. And the fishes feed on,
Chemical.
no, what the
Fish feed.
fish feed,
Yeah.
which are some formulations.
Processed, yeah.
Processed. So,
But sorry, how organic is the grass that our cows are eating now?
It's natural.
They're grazing in the
They're grazing in the
grazing
open,
in the
yes.
But you know now Nigeria is going towards bio
No, we have not.
No,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
not-
no, we are. That means you didn't watch as recent as a month ago. There was this celebration that we are now using GD, what do you call
GMOs.
them? GMO seeds. And
Okay.
these officials were celebrating that, you look at our normal local seeds and what that seed was,
But
and
the
there was
GMOs,
this celebration.
the GMOs you're talking about are actually seeds that you plant, but the cows feed on the open. They
Hold
graze
on.
naturally.
You know,
that's
you
what-
can,
that's what
you
he's
know,
saying.
GMO seeds, you can actually use them. You have the byproducts of
Yeah.
the feeds as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think currently we haven't gotten to that
Full
stage.
grazing.
See, Kiruka,
all our
see,
cows
Let's
are
not
open
digress.
grazing.
Let's not, friends, let's not
as
digress.
It is, our cow, the number of cows that eat
Percentage.
open graze, the percentage
Yes.
is still higher than
About 90%.
yes, that's what we
The-
do
the poultry
on the other side.
fishes.
Now, to the layman in the field who believes in the morning he comes out and he knows that his strength is that he'll have to eat 3 plates of fufu with one of the onubu soup there
Yes.
before he can go push his truck. He can push out all those energies before evening because he has strength to push it out. Now, if you reverse to the time of our parents, when we don't have a lot of cars, we don't do a lot of taxis, we don't do a lot of ACs, we don't do a lot of this plastic life we're living now.
Yeah.
It was easy for us to consume that
And work it
out.
Yeah.
Now, from here to whatever place I'm
Life
going,
now is more sedentary.
yes, for whatever place, from my house to my car,
Yeah.
from my car to my office. Once I park in my office, I come out
You're
and
less
I enter.
active.
Yes, so I'm less active. Now, I wouldn't be expected, no matter how I feel like eating that thing that man has eaten, I can't have them consumed in. So it's important that we check what combinations we eat. Also, I've heard people say that they eat, there's a particular thing they say they want to eat light, And the quantity of sugar in what they call light
Precisely.
is not commiserate to what their system needs.
The nutrients.
Yes.
There's no nutrients.
Yes.
Nutrient deficient.
Yes.
Yes, they're just eating sugar. Yes.
And you see people saying, I'm eating light.
And
So that light is
the food is
cereal?
the diet is not balanced. In fact, there's no nutrition in it. It's empty.
Empty.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let
Guys,
me
I want
let me come in there.
Okay.
You know, since they started, I've been listening. The scientists spoke. Chooks that
It's okay,
loves
give us
food.
a views. What do
Now
you
I'm
think?
coming from a very natural platform.
Okay.
Now all of you are looking at me, just staring at me in your heart. She's beautiful. Let me tell you, it's the food I eat that makes me
wow.
beautiful. Sorry, ma, you had beautiful scientific points, but I believe in nature. I want to commend the producer of this program because the food we as Nigerians eat can evolve from making your children intelligent. The food you eat can also go as far as making you to live long. Like Chuk says, his father is still alive, he still eats, but you don't know how his body breaks down. So this is the reason why we have to like segmentalize what is good for me to eat. Could it be good for Chuks to eat? And could it also be good for Sister Nkiruka to eat?
So how do you know what is good for you to
Now, at the naturopathic center where I try to research through, humans are different with different blood groups. You could be O, I am O, she's B or A, and each of them have names. O could be a meat eater like Chooks, he's eating meat. You are O, I don't know, but good. Your spirit just delve into eating meat. You are a meat eater, natural. That's how they call O's. Now the A's, they grade them as vegetarians. They are good at vegetables and they grow fast. They suck up the nutrients from vegetables they eat. If an all group eat that, you react. Now, for instance, the Chooks was talking about combination. You must not stay on what you don't break down, because everybody cannot break down the same thing at the same time. You know, public relations have it that one man's food is another man's poison, but in Nigeria we've not been able to bring it out appropriately for everybody to know and understand why you must not eat what Chooks has eaten all the time and why you should stay here. Sometimes I love to eat oranges, like she was talking about oranges, chemicals and all of that, but I don't break down oranges because I react to oranges, but I love it so much. So how do I do it? I detox. These people talk about taking enema in the native way, and some talk about taking laxative. They are natural laxative.
As a way of detox?
Yes, because you have a septic tank in your system. It's the stomach.
But how healthy are these practices? How healthy are they?
If you don't detox your system, or maybe take something to clean up your system, okay, don't you clean up your toilet when you go to toilet? If you don't clean up that toilet,
Water is actually a detoxifier.
There are fruits. Water too is your detox.
Ima farmers come in there. You
Okay.
see, there is
I would love to hear Njideka.
there are
It's about chemistry in the
that
house.
we always mix
Yes,
together.
yes,
yes.
I've heard detox. I've heard you haven't mentioned the cleanse. But there are two things that people use interchangeably and they're not the same.
Okay.
Now, what you're actually referring to, you want to purge your system, your
Purgative,
gastrointestinal system,
cleanse,
and
is that-
is that actually detox?
It's a cleanse.
Yes. Okay.
You want to empty it, and just like you
Exactly.
said, how can you have a car? Say you're 30 years old, maybe you, the body, 40 years, 20 years old, 50, 60, and you have never serviced the car.
That's it.
You have never changed oil.
That's
How possible is it?
That's
so
it.
that is a cleanse.
That's
so
it.
I want to clean up my system.
And
usually when you want to do that, you stay, basically you still
Intermittent
drinking only
fasting.
water.
Okay.
And that is where a fast comes in.
Do
and
you
in
know that
fasting,
something
you're
like-
abstaining. you're abstaining from food because I want to clean it out. It's like washing off a gutter. You need to clean. I can't be trying to clean up the gutter doing environmental sanitation and somebody else is pouring dirt in it. So that's a cleanse. Now she has mentioned a detoxification is but chemically they're two different things. Okay. Now a detox, from the word detox, I'm saying detoxification, meaning I'm removing toxins from my body.
That's right.
So that takes me back to what I said about chemicals in our food. So what detox does is actually I want to remove the negative chemical substances that may be hindering some processes in my body. And how does it happen? There are so many ways you can do that. Like we said, the main reason why we eat, we're eating, you see, food really is a healer. And the body naturally, God designed us to eat and be healed. Okay? So your body's first choice to be healthy is the food you eat.
That's right.
That's why we said we are what we eat.
Yes.
Okay? Now, so my first choice to remain healthy and not go to the hospital is to eat right. Eating right really is expensive. That's the truth.
Very, very, very
It's expensive
very,
because you have to
very
make
true.
the right choices. That is why you have fast food
You
that is
could
very
be-
cheap.
you could be scaring
now, so
people.
if I'm detoxifying myself now, I'm removing toxins, and there are a lot of them we pick in our food, like I already mentioned. You know, so that is a process. Now the body on its own, you're asking, if I'm accumulating a lot of toxins from what I eat, I breathe it in. You're an environmentalist,
That's right.
so you agree with me that a lot of toxins we inhale,
That's
whether
right.
we like it or not.
Yes.
There are so many cars,
Everywhere.
generators,
Everywhere.
so
Everywhere.
I'm taking in carbon monoxide, I'm taking in so many things. How do I remove that from my system? Detoxification. But now, how am I going to detoxify myself? God is so wonderful. He has created the body with natural detoxifying system.
Okay.
Now within the system you have what we call, there are basically three major ones. You have the glutathione, okay? You have the superoxide system, yes, and you have the other one we call catalyst. There are just three of them. So what do? They help to remove these chemicals from your body. So, but over time as you age, that is where we go back right again to what we eat. Over time as I age, these components begin to deplete. Now something like glutathione, okay, works well with some minerals. For instance, selenium is found in granules. We have granules here and a lot of other things. So for that particular enzyme to work well, I need to eat fruits that are rich in that substance. So because it's an important component of it. So, but as I age, these substances are reduced in my body. And that's why we come back to what we eat. But if I'm eating the right thing, I'm supplying the body the ingredients and the nutrients it needs to rebuild my detoxification system. So we come back to you are what you eat. So, and that is the real reason why we have a lot of degenerative diseases on the increase. By degenerative disease, we're talking of chronic diseases, we're talking of cancers, we're talking of respiratory issues, we're talking of diabetes.
Kidney and issues.
Okay, we're talking of diabetes, and we're talking of
hypertension and the like.
Exactly. So that is where it's important for us to
What I want to say,
at some point,
what I want to say
can I disagree?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you said eating right is expensive, you would discourage people listening to you. Maybe because you're rich, you have some stuff with you. Somebody who is very poor should have the mentality that you can eat right cheaply. I'm telling you the truth.
Give us a clear example.
For instance, you just pour, you have a little garden, or you don't have money to go to the market, you have vegetable behind your house, you keep planting some little seeds around your environs or something.
What if you don't have a house and that garden?
Okay, now,
Even if you do not have a house or a garden, but eating right is very cheap and easy. As long as you know that your system can eat granules, and you don't react negatively. Groundnut is as cheap as 50 naira and 20 naira. You would even say, what if you don't have the 20 naira? Somebody will give you. So let us encourage Nigerians to eat right because it is very cheap. Okay, somebody said, I don't like fish. Ice fish is cheap.
Okay.
Yes.
But I want to
it's even
disagree
cheaper
a
than
bit.
cow meat.
I want to disagree a bit to that. Ice fish is not very cheap.
Hold on. What I want to
But
say
it is,
is
you can buy it as cheap as 250 naira, depending on the size. You can buy it as cheap as 300 naira, depending on the size. So let everybody know that you must not be rich to eat right.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Sorry. Let me just say something. We're talking about what we eat. And then we say this food is healthy, that food is healthy. I think it's not just what you eat, but eating in moderation. We have to put that in. So because granite is healthy, does it mean I should finish this bucket of granite? Do you understand? So it's not just what I would campaign for is eat
but eat in moderation. That's what I would say. Because whether we like it or not, there is a lot of pollution happening, and that is actually affecting how we eat and what we eat. And so if you tell people what you eat, I think it's in what amount do you eat?
The quantity.
So the quantity. Okay. So I think you can have your ice cream, you can have your cake, I love it, you can have your chocolates, you can have what you want, but eat in moderation. I have a grandma that is almost 90 years. If you see her, you will not know that she's almost 90. The lady looks 50. Not because she's my grandma. Oh. No, I'm serious. What does she do? She eats her ice cream. She eats her chocolates. She takes her crepes. She does all those things, but what does she eats it in moderation. And she has also timed her body in such a way that she doesn't have breakfast. She wouldn't eat till 12, 1 o'clock.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And she will have just toast and black coffee with no sugar or anything. And then she will not eat again till around that 3 o'clock.
Fasting.
Yeah.
So because she's getting older. So do you understand? So it's not just what we eat, but how do you eat it?
You know, I want to say something. I want to say something there. Like my friend said, sorry. You know, I agree with her that really, it's not. You don't have the mentality that eating right is expensive, because it's about making the right choices. Instead of eating fast food, which are more expensive, with my 300 instead of buying meat pie, why am I not buying ugu and making some vegetables with it? But the truth of the matter is, I still get my yam and natural things to eat. But like Nkiru has said too, when we're talking of food, like I wanted to say, before we discuss what I eat, eating in moderation, I will say yes and I will say no.
Okay.
The reason why I say yes and no is that before I talk about food, I want to talk about who is involved, the person, the biological makeup, the genetics of the person, the physiologic makeup of the person, the biochemical makeup of the person will determine what the person should eat. Yeah. Then the next thing, like I want to say, is what are your health goals?
Good.
Those two important things. What are your health goals? Now, biochemically, I have people that I know that if they eat cabbage, they'll react to it.
Yeah.
I was surprised somebody told me the other day that if I drink anything juice, whether it's fresh orange, I had to ask, are you sure what you're saying? He said, whether it's Five Alive, whether it's, I said, what if I make fresh orange juice and squeeze it and give you? Said, they are all the same to my body. Just as you give it to me, give me the key to the toilet and make sure nobody enters there. I'll be there for the next 24 hours. People's bodies are different. So what is the genetic makeup of the person we are talking when we say what we eat? So it is different. People metabolize things differently. Now I want to give another example. You know, we all drink, most people like to drink what we call diet Coke, diet soda, diet this. Now, if you have ever picked up a bottle of diet Coke or soda, anything that is maybe they say sugar-free, but when they say sugar-free, they've added another sweetener there. And mostly the sweetener they add is aspartame. Now, aspartame is a sweetener, it was developed in the lab. Now, aspartame contains 3 major things. 2 amino acids and 1 alcohol. Alcohol methanol is there. It contains aspartic acid, it contains phenylalanine. Now, if you walk out here, pick a bottle of maybe sand soda, anything that is diet, anything, pick it up. It's even in some bubble gums, sugar-free. Once you see sugar-free, look at it. It now says, contains phenylalanine, a source of, it contains aspartame, okay, which is a sweetener, used instead of sugar, a source of phenylalanine. Now, I'm talking of genetic makeup. There are some people that cannot metabolize phenylalanine. Their body cannot break it down. So that is why that caution is there.
That's it.
To warn them. You understand? And then again, a lot of people have migraine reactions from drinking aspartame. Now, aspartame really, when your body breaks it down, the breakdown of aspartame, you get certain chemical components, one of which is formaldehyde. Now, do you know what formaldehyde is?
Oh my God.
You know what formaldehyde is? Have you gone to the mortuary before?
Yeah.
Formalin. You've been to the mortuary?
It's what they used to.
Formalin. So that explains why some people are having some syndromes and symptoms and they don't understand. Because the more I'm taking these sugar-free drinks, I'm accumulating formaldehyde. It is known to cause some brain tumors, cancers, and some other things. Then again, you're looking at methanol. Methanol is an alcohol, which I said is a part of aspartame. It's the third component. Now, methanol is known to cause blindness. So we're really be conscious of what we eat. So when we now talk, the second aspect, like I said, is I'm talking about who am I? What is my health goal? you talk of eating in moderation. If, like Chooks has said earlier on, in my family we have a history of diabetes. Eating in moderation, or I'm already diabetic. What is eating in moderation for me to eat ice cream? It doesn't come in.
Exactly.
Okay, I was going to chip in something.
Think about that. There's no moderation. So if I'm diabetic,
something.
I should abstain from ice cream.
Okay,
Now,
right.
sorry,
I was going to chip in something.
Said something about family line. Your father was diabetic.
It's not.
Your mother was
Was not.
No, I understand. As I'm setting example.
As an example.
For instance,
One's parent.
one's parent was
now.
diabetic. Your mother, your sister, and all of that. So that tendency for you to be diabetic is there. I am saying I disagree, because my father is my father and I am me.
No. Sorry.
Medically is
let her learn.
correct, but let me say the reality of your system, what you want to achieve in your health.
Your health goals.
Physically, spiritually,
saying the same
your
thing.
health goals.
You're saying the same thing.
Yes, genetically it could be there, but you can debunk from it.
That's what he's
because
saying.
of the food you eat. Now she made mention of partial fasting in the morning, but not all the time, because the body will definitely always need some nutrients to keep you through the day and all of that. But I'm saying that anybody, anywhere can go as healthy as long as that person wants to in life, not because your genetics have that sickness, but in
making
what
the right
you eat.
choices.
Yes, but in what
she
you
said.
eat,
Okay.
and
That's
the
exactly
time
what
that
she
you
said.
eat, and when you eat, and what you eat at any given time.
It goes back to, I think we're all saying
exactly
the
what he
same
said.
thing.
Yeah.
We're all saying the
Yeah.
same thing. It goes back to you know your genetics.
Yeah.
My father is hypertensive. My father is also diabetic. So I have this at the back of my mind all the time. I mean, it's something that goes around with me to say, okay, I have to limit the kind of sugar, amount of sugar I take.
Yeah.
So is you knowing your genetics, makeup.
And
So you
set your
can't
own
rule out
goals.
the fact that, oh, my parents are
And that
my
you
parents
will
are
be
this
in
thing.
set
And
your
no,
own
you have
goals.
to live with that.
Yeah.
And when you live with it, it also helps you make your
Conscious.
conscious
That's it.
decisions towards your health.
Can I
Very,
just
very
add
conscious.
something?
Okay.
You know, just talking about health issues, as women, a lot of African women, or it's been said, African women have fibroids. So we're
Right.
talking about what you eat.
Yes.
So, you know, certain things also actually
Aggravate
help
fibroids.
help
That's
the
right.
fibroid to
Carbohydrates,
grow.
yes.
You know, beef is also one of it.
Yes.
Depends on if you
I haven't
can't
Yes.
get
come
down
across any
fish,
study
it-
that supports
Yes.
that.
You
And
know that.
talking about beef.
Can
That's
Talking
what
about
she said.
beef.
She
Talking
said-
about beef.
No,
Talking
I
about
wanted
beef.
to
There's a
throw more
certain-
light on that,
Talking
please.
about beef. There's a
depends
certain
on-
age you go to. I mean, once you're above 40, you shouldn't be taking too much of red meat.
No,
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Yes, it's scientifically proven.
Let me tell you.
You're taking more of white
I'll
meat.
tell you what my friend Obinna said.
Okay.
We were talking one day, said, please, they talk about meat. He said an average Nigerian does not even consume the quantity of meat his body needs. Let off telling him you're eating too much.
Exactly.
Oyibos are the ones that eat meat.
Yes, I agree.
Oyinbo man will go
And
to
not
a
even the
shop.
right type
Yes.
of meat.
Oyinbo
I
man will
agree.
go,
It's GMO.
Yes, Oyinbo man will go to a shop and you ask them to give him meat as food. He will eat meat as food.
Steak.
You understand? In Nigeria, when we talk about getting to 40 and abstaining from red meat, I go back to what I asked again. What are the components of this meat and fish that we eat?
Exactly.
If you're going to eat meat,
Quality.
what quality of meat do you eat?
Yes.
Now, that somebody goes about, gets any kind of meat on the street and eat and gets maybe bacteria infection, does not mean that the meat he ate is the cause of the problem. Because you could look at the environment where you eat your meat. Much as we try to speak about how we eat, the quantity we eat, there's a message I want us to give to our people. And that message comes even to those people that prepare the food that people eat in the public. You understand? Because we are focused on how we eat it. We've not talked anything about
The process.
the preparation.
Yes, I'll
now
like to
you own a buka, you have mama put, you're trying to serve the public. How are you conscious about the health of the people you want to serve the food? You mix anything and you bring it out to the
It becomes
public
food.
because you think people are not seeing you and you are serving that to the public. What are you trying to give? If they give you that thing you are serving people, would you eat it? So it goes back to also the environment, because we also need to check what people eat in the public place. If a woman is selling
Regulation.
regulation, because it's not about how we eat it.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned about going to the market to buy something cheap. Yeah, it's possible. But have you checked how that thing you're buying cheap?
Processed.
Because you may think that, yes, I'm buying it from the market, is good, and is that.
How was it? How was it?
Has the
processed?
first-
garden egg you bought was from the
garden
market.
egg I bought it from the market. Who looks at that garden egg that I'm eating? Once in a while, the agencies involved should
Food
also
regulators.
go into the marketplaces
And do like a
and
survey.
look at what people's
Government
Go
agencies,
to
the
canteens,
Ministry
go
of
to
Health
Buka,
and all that.
Go
you know?
to areas, look at what people
we have-
serve.
do we have
I
the-
do.
Yes, I think more
We do.
recently.
We
Yes,
do.
we do.
We
We
do.
do.
We do.
active, are they working
I
with
think,
that?
I think more recently,
Regulated body do we
I
have?
read about something online. I really don't know how true it is, but I believe it's online. There's some I'll talk true to it. That I think there was an agency or something went into the market or into the streets or something, and they found out that some people were actually using
Sniper.
crude oil to fry
Yes,
puff
yes,
you
yes,
eat
yes.
on the road,
Yeah,
and
transformer
they
oil.
were using sniper. In fact, we saw the
Sniper.
video of the sniper to preserve
to
food,
fish,
and then
fish,
for
dry
fish.
fish, insects
I have,
and all
even
that.
meats. They were like, if you see meats that don't have flies on them, you shouldn't buy because they've been, they use
Maybe
some
rub
things
something
to,
on it.
Yeah.
So it goes back to another aspect I want to bring out is, while we're cautious of what we eat, how do we also prepare? I'm going back to what you're
Yes,
saying. What
I'm
to
going
eat.
to say, I was going to
Now,
address
we
that.
buy vegetables from the market. Like for me, I wash my vegetables with salt. I just do my own, just try
Not
to do my
only
own bits.
vegetable, even the meat you eat.
Well,
even the fruit.
it
I want
goes
salt.
back to individual.
Yes.
So
But
I think
Jideka should, because it's an area of.
I'm trying to
expertise.
bring it. I'm trying to bring out the point to say, okay, while like the original food you eat before you process, what are the things we should just, because of the environment to find ourselves? Like she said, pesticides, formaldehyde. She's called so many very big names. So let's bring it down to the layman. What are the little things we can do to help?
My cooking method, if I, even as educated as I am, or my friend or you don't even know that the cooking method you're adopting is bad.
That's right.
You keep on taking in some things that are dangerous to your body, and in fact, you're creating it yourself. Let's look at, I want to take a typical example now. When it comes to cooking, it is known that the best method to cook your food is ordinary boiling with water.
Okay.
Any other method, tends to generate free radicals. I won't go into that really, but there are substances that are really dangerous to our body. What they actually do is that they tend to create degenerative diseases because they attack the cells and the bodies and all that. So, but let's look at my cooking method now. I want to bring out one important point because Chukuma has mentioned public food. Now, cooking in public, Mama put whoever, a
Fast
typical
food.
Nigerian walking on the streets, I'm hungry, I've done it several times. You see the woman frying puff puff, you see the woman frying yam, potato, you stop to buy. Now, I want to address the issue of cooking oil. She's frying this thing. Now, there's oil have different categories based on, for you to understand oil, you must understand their chemical structure, which is not what I'm going to discuss now. But one thing about oil is that heat is known to destroy oil. So the more I fry repeatedly with oil, to start with, vegetable oil is bad alone. It's bad on its own because it's already been oxidized. It's already been destroyed because of the process through which it was produced under high heat. Now, I'm frying with it and I'm using it repeatedly. They keep on frying. They're not going to pour it away. She's frying with it repeatedly. So what am I doing?
becomes
I'm
acidic.
creating more free radicals. I'm destroying the oil more. You understand? Now, more often than not, you keep on hearing the issue of cholesterol is high, is this and that. I'm not going to go into that subject because it's going to be very controversial. But I was trying to tell you that the real reason why you actually have high cholesterol is because of the oil you're using, even within your body, is already oxidized.
Yeah.
So it tends to create the high cholesterol.
Okay,
So this woman is now frying with it. So the best way to actually fry, we're not saying don't fry your food.
I love edikaikong, but if you eat my edikaikong, you will always come and knock on my door. Madam, give me that edikaikong. You must not come. Don't mind her. Okay, don't worry. I think I will definitely have to plan for these to come up again so that while we are, talking,
writing it,
we can be taking a
talking about the edikaikong. So
now, a combination of different vegetables in edikaikong. Water leaf is very fragile.
Yes.
You don't cook it for a long time.
Exactly.
Now, for instance, if you use salt to wash the water leaf, it will start sleeping already.
Yeah.
And at this point, we cook every other thing. And once we off our light, we pour in vegetable and
Bring it down.
and the water leaf. Soup is ready. Some people, there was a time they were making fun of one big man in Akwa Ibom State, where I come from. That the man says he doesn't like salad, he doesn't like, carry this food for the goats to eat. And that man died. That's grass. That man died. But people that can just pick up very fresh vegetable, if they can break it down though, live happier and very healthy. For instance, people don't even know that something like banana, the way you prepare it and eat can make you happy.
Yes.
Please consult me.
Yes.
It's a happy fruit.
Yes, I agree.
Consult me and pay me later on more of the preparations.
But
so
I'm going to pick up another thing. Sorry, I'm going to digress now.
Okay.
Talk about food.
Okay.
There's something that's also evolving. Now, a lot of people drink so much. It's also alcohol
what you drink. You're what you drink.
It's also part
It's
of
also
what
food.
we take.
That's food. It's part of food.
Now, the kind of things people drink and the kind of things they smoke. You understand? And you see people...
It's actually part of food.
Yes.
The smoking and the drinking is part of
These things are
food.
part of food. Yeah. And it is gradually on the increase. Now, how are we going to watch this? Because personally, I don't drink. So most times when people see me with my body frame, they think it's as a result of too much beer.
Alcohol or something.
They don't know it's the offense salad that is causing it.
The Anambra woman.
If you don't actually eat when you come back, you explain where you ate.
Yeah,
You get query. But that's the truth now.
My in-laws are
You have
talking.
to explain where you ate. Yes, I'm from Anambra.
My
You have
in-laws
to
are
explain where
talking.
you ate.
So, now we need to look into the lifestyle of people who drink. Because you see, people tend to have kidney issues, liver issues, what's it called, diabetics. It's on the increase. So if you are watching us and you tend to see this and you also have this kind of lifestyle, you have to check it, because you can't be, if you're not sure of the sugar level of your family, it's not expensive to go to the nearest lab and know the system you have. You don't come and turn a liability, because most people are now I can't drink, and a little like this will mess my system up. So why would I want to drink to impress people? No matter where I go, I'll either take water, and they have me, I'm taking water, and I agree.
Some people are drinking because they have problem, but the truth is that when you're sober, the problem is still there.
Yeah.
Well, that's the truth.
The problem is waiting for you, so it's not a solution really.
Chooks, let me say something. I should say, being a pastor, I shouldn't talk about this, because people say, don't drink this one, drink this one. Don't drink mineral. Because you are a consumer of beer. Those who consume beer say, I don't drink mineral because it will give me diabetes. I will drink beer because
it has no taste. It's not sweet. It's not
sweet or something.
I drink stout.
Now, I think for everybody listening to us, everything you take should be in moderation. I'm thinking, because
depending on
even if it is water,
a little bit of that.
I will tell as my friend, even if it is water, go into the river and drink a large amount or quantity of water. You will be sick or you will die.
No, you will die. Water can actually kill you.
No. Let's bring out this point. You mentioned something about those who drink
mineral
and those who drink mineral.
Yeah.
The both things I am thinking also contain sugar.
They are the same.
Yeah.
They both contain sugar.
They
They are the
both
same.
contain sugar.
Irrespective of the
Now,
taste.
the question or the message I send out is this: people who consume this should try as much as possible to spend as little as much as 3,000 to 5,000 to know their bloodline, their sugar level, and everything, so that they don't turn liabilities to others.
That's the message.
It's important that you know if you belong to the mineral category. My father still drinks malt at his 100.
He's a strong man.
One of the things I give when I go home is you have to leave a bottle of malt.
Wow.
You have to leave a carton of a carton of malt and a carton of noodles.
Wow.
My father takes tea in the morning with high sugar and nothing affects him.
Wow.
So he has understood that for him.
Yes.
It works for him. I did not live his lifestyle. Yes, I have watched him do that, but I wouldn't do that.
That's right.
Because he didn't, I didn't do much of the things he had done in his lifetime. So,
But maybe he
times
wasn't
have
doing this
changed
right on
as
time.
well.
Maybe something he started in his old age.
And times
It's
have also
possible.
changed.
Because he couldn't have been doing that for the past 100 years and still
and
be in
still
that
be
good
there, yes.
condition of
It's
health.
okay.
No,
Yes.
he couldn't have
So
been doing that for 100
yes,
years.
I need to watch what I eat because I've seen my friend. Little thing gets me bloated, so I need to watch what I take. Now, if you, I went as far as seeing a doctor because I noticed that I don't, when I eat late, it doesn't digest easily. I went to see a doctor, and he ran a check on me and told me that my body metabolism is slow. And since the time I heard that my body metabolism is slow, I've regulated what I eat.
And the time.
And the time I ate
Your
it.
cutoff time.
Yes, my cutoff time. So based on that, I now know how I work. So if you are watching us and listening to us, you should know what gets into your system.
Now,
Chooks,
this-
I'd like to add something. Sorry, I want to add a word of advice to alcohol.
Yes, I want to emphasize what he said. I want to emphasize what he's saying as while we're watching what to eat, there is need to also go and check our body composition. I think that's very important because this is your body composition that will tell what you should eat after all. So you know, if I should stay off sugar, if I should stay off carbs, if I should stay off much of protein. Now, there's something I also want to bring out. Well, this morning I saw a report by World Health Organization saying about 5 a day. Now, while we're talking about ourselves, we should also be talking about the upcoming generation.
Yeah.
What are we feeding them? What are we feeding our children?
That is for people out there that are listening. Really, everything we have said so far on alcohol, we need to be careful. But I want to add a word on alcohol. You see, a lot of times, for one reason or the other, we find ourselves taking things like paracetamol, Panadol. So if you're already taking alcohol, like we said, when you take in food, it doesn't end up in your mouth. Your body does something with it.
That's right.
So there are a lot of chemical reactions. So a word on alcohol. If you drink alcohol, please stay away from Panadol.
Wow.
Stay away from
much.
paracetamol.
That's great.
Why?
Stay away from Tylenol, all of them. You know, when you talk about drugs, all these things I mentioned, they are the same.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about drugs, we're talking about the active ingredient. The chemical component is acetaminophen. That is what it is in all these drugs I mentioned. Now, when I take in alcohol is broken down in the liver. Now, we heard of liver disease, which is actually what excess alcohol causes, what we call liver cirrhosis. Now, when I take in alcohol, my body will metabolize it. Okay, that is break it down. That is what it is. It will break it down. It doesn't stay like that. Now, there is a byproduct of that process, which is what we call, I won't go into the name, MPQI.
So what does that
now,
cause for us?
what it does is that it doesn't work well with paracetamol.
Wow.
So it causes liver damage.
Okay, we take that as your last
increases.
word. Please, if you take alcohol, don't take Panadol.
At the same time.
Give us the last word, Kiruka.
Everything should be in moderation.
Okay.
We should also
Ice cream.
everything should be in moderation. We should check our body system as well. Don't do what somebody else would do because you need to know yourself.
Your own body
Some people
system.
are allergic to certain things. We talk about this. You also have to talk about food allergies, gluten and all that. So you have to know these things as well.
Thank you very much. Give us the last word.
Nigeria should not just depend on the government to be able to do everything for us. We can,
Yeah, brother's keeper. Watch.
not just being a brother's keeper. Like I run a foundation. It's more like an organization making up of women from different schools. Our
So you
alumni.
educate them per se.
Yes, and this
Okay.
is one of the basic reasons. Now, seasonally we gather. What are we
education,
doing?
yeah.
What health education? What did you eat last night? How? Who is sick in your home? Can we eat to heal? Can we help the person to come?
Eating to heal.
Good.
Eating to heal.
Now,
Right.
you don't just sit in your house and pamper yourself, eating anything you eat. Please watch. Apart from eating in moderation, help your neighbor.
Help your neighbor. Not just
Please,
look out
get
for your
information.
neighbor.
Look out
Look
for
out for your
everybody that needs help. Let them eat well and stay more beautiful like I am.
All
My
right.
friends,
Chukuma,
you know.
give us the last word, please.
Well, everyone has said it all, and I also say that the regulatory agencies also should look into the kind of things people bring out in the markets to give to people, because what we eat, it's a function of what we buy. We don't grow everything we eat in our homes, so what we buy from our markets should also be looked into.
All right. End of the show today. I hope we've taken home a lot on what we eat, how we eat it. We've spoken to ourselves, and my sister said, let's be looking out for each other. So we had a nice time discussing this issue. You are what you eat. Next time, we'll be having another